Good day, viewers. Welcome to Central Focus, where political issues are discussed and analyzed. Our topic of discussion today is 140 million strong, zero power. I am your host, Haja Amira Musa. With me in the studio is Dr. Yusuf Kekere, a medical practitioner who is also interested in political and public affairs. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Hajia.
Thank you. Before we dive into the discussion proper, it is always said that youths are the future of tomorrow. Yet, when it comes to real power, the majority still sits on the sideline. Now, Doctor is here to give us that analysis. Doctor, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Now, Doctor, some argue that all politicians have experience. Is it ageism to demand youth to take over?
Okay. Thank you very much. I feel when you say old politicians
Yes, have experience.
yes. If you look at the political platform today, the present day Nigeria, we can refer to them as a political citadel because they have seen what the youth have not seen. And then an old politician with a digital vision can actually pilot the affair of a country. A youth who is practically referred to as an analog fitting will definitely not pilot the affair of a country. However, every youth is meant to be represented in every aspect of governmental system so that there is balance of age. And then every economically viable nation you see today do so well because there is balance of age. That's what I see.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor, for that analysis. Doctor, youth collects 5,000 naira on election day to vote
Are you sure I'm not part of them?
old men,
All right.
then complain our leaders are old. Isn't that hypocrisy?
It is not hypocrisy.
Okay.
Sometimes I make mention of economically viable nation. When you say economically viable nation, that is the purchasing power of individual is enough to take a family from morning till the evening and the following day and all around a month and in a year. But in this part of the world, it is not so because the purchasing power of individual is below what the tune of the economic commodities is saying in the market today. Now, if on the day of election, the political citadel, the old politicians, come to give 5,000 naira to youth, of course, it is what I have watched an analysis from somebody saying when life throws you a lemon, you make lemonade out of it. Of course, you are already drenched in an economically strangulated nation with poverty. So if you grab 5,000 naira on a day, you feel like that day is fulfilled, but not knowing that that 5,000 naira is going to serve you for 4 years. So it is not hypocrisy, it is the poverty that drenched them in that condition before they have opportunity to see the 5,000 naira. And I can tell you that if you say youth, these youth that are collecting 5,000 naira on the day of election, they don't collect it because they don't have anything doing. Even people that have a good job, good salary, also collect the 5,000 naira, but forgotten that that 5,000 naira is going to serve for 4 years. That is where you will complain there's no good road, no electricity, the education, the transport system, the insecurity, everything is buried in that 5,000 naira.
Thank you, Doctor. If I may ask, is it possible to stop such such thing of giving out this money to voters before they vote?
Thank you very much. It is possible.
Okay.
Yes, when there is balance of representation
Okay.
in the governmental system, look at how much the presidential form is being sold now. The governorship, the senators, the House of Representatives, the House of Assembly. Then tell me, if you are not financially grounded, you cannot just lump up 50 million naira to go and buy a form. You can stop it, but it is stamped as a replacement therapy. What do you do with that replacement therapy? Of course, youth that are actually agile and eager to participate in the election or in the electoral procedure should be empowered by a political party, not just a caliber of age or an age group that sits on decision on the affair of the youth. No, a youth must be empowered financially to be able to find a place in the electoral procedure so that things can be normalized. And in doing so, when one youth enters into a political party, of course, that youth can empower another and another. It becomes a chain reaction of the positive responses. And then that is how youth is being empowered to stop collecting 5,000 naira on the day of election.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for that analysis. Now, young people trend. We need young presidents. But insult every young aspirant who joins a bad party. Must youth form a new party before they win?
I don't think youth need any new party before they win. Of course, in a political party where you feel there are a lot of infraction, there are a lot of abnormalities, you can join them and then begin to portray your idea of how things can be normalized little by little. It is time-dependent scenario or a time-dependent assignment. You have to be patient, you have to be loyal, and you have to make sure you are carried along. It is not just by education. Somebody can educate you about what you need to form a formidable force in the society. But if you are not loyal and you are not willing to be carried along, you may get the education, but getting the education, you are not using it. It's of no use. It's a wasted resources. It's a wasted time. But youth don't need to form new political party. What they need to do is to join APC, join ADC, join SDP, join every other party. Let's begin to itemize what is being deemed as wrong, what is abnormality, failure, and then they begin to introduce an idea comparing to international environment, what they do there that works for them, and what we need to incorporate into our system to work for us. But it needs loyalty, it needs time, it needs patience. That is what we need to do, so that whatever they see to be wrong in this political party, with time, with their idea, then it can be accepted that what this young person is saying, I think it is good. If you are able to provide an international comparative analysis where it works.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
INEC data. 39.6% of registered voters are youths. But turnout is lowest. If we don't vote, why complain?
I want to say, if the youth, for instance, or the voters, we are politically oriented on social media. We are politically oriented before the real and procedural system of election. But on the day of election, because of one thing or the other, we become apolitical. We become apathy, politically apathy. Why is it happening? It's because what you feel your representation should be is not forthcoming.
Okay.
Like now, you come to vote, and then at the end of the day, your vote doesn't count. Or you even collect 5,000 naira you earlier suggested. That 5,000 naira you feel, yes, you've collected it today, but you know it's going to stand for 4 years. If at the end of the day, for instance, you've collected the 5,000, your vote doesn't count, and then you come to the political ground, one thing or the other, because of catastrophe, you are unable to cast your vote, and at the end of the day, you are being chased out of the place. Of course, definitely you become apolitical, either intentionally or unintentional at that day. But somehow, at the end of counting results and announcing who the winner is or who the loser is, you definitely see that the percentage that turn out to the electoral ground does not represent the result that is being announced by the INEC. So on social media, many of us are politically oriented, but on the day of election, we became politically apathy because of what we deem not doing us right.
Okay.
That is what I feel is happening.
Oh, thank you, my doctor.
Thank you.
The next question is, Doctor, can you give us 3 offices youths can win in 2027 without billions? 3 offices
3 offices.
youths can win
Okay.
in 2027 without billions.
Okay. Thank you very much. You said the youth are complaining.
Yeah.
The old politician doesn't give them space to
Exactly.
participate.
Yes.
And I said they don't need a new political party to forge ahead. Why one single youth can change the scenario of present Nigeria. When you join a political party, after a while, you empower another youth to join you. Very well, you could see that in the recent past, some politicians don't have 1 naira to buy form, but on social media, people contributed money for them. Of course, when you have this money contributed from people and you could buy a form and the people have vested a lot of trust in you, you can win a Senate, you can win the House of Representatives, you can even win the governor of a state. So there are so many offices you can win without having your billion, without having the billion in your hand. People can say, this man has done this very right, this man has innovated this into the society. From there could be a movement. Let us contribute money and buy form for him, buy form for her, let us support him, let us campaign. In fact, you will be like a vegetable at one side waiting for you to win election, and you become the most successful weapon that youth can use to achieve what they want from the dividend of democracy. So I don't say president, because if I say president, you can win president now. Oga President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be saying that these people, do they have somebody to replace me in 2017?
Yes.
But let us leave a presidential office for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
In a nutshell, which advice do you have for our youths out there?
The advice I have for our youth is, like myself, as a medical practitioner, I shouldn't have any business coming to a studio to face a guest, face a host, asking me questions and I'm responding. Youth should not be a unilateral, a professional ideology. When I mean unilateral professional ideology, you are a doctor, you are a doctor. You don't want to do any other thing again. You are an engineer, you are an engineer. No, let us have that digression of idea. Learn from people what you feel. If you get the idea, you can help your society with. Youth should come out en masse and participate into political party. Yes, you may be mocked. I have a lot of I know a lot of musicians those days in the early 90s. When they produce a lyrics, they give to their producer. Their producer, good, look, guy, you cannot be a musician. They do another one again. They throw it back at them. They do another one again. They throw it back. But over time, they become so special that it is the publisher, the producer that is looking after them. That is how it has to be applied in the political aspect. So when you start, very small, you start very idea scarcity, you learn. You follow people, you listen, you read, and then you follow what is going on in other parts of the world, so that you can be an integral part of the political system in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for being part of us in today's program.
Thank you
I
very
hope
much.
to see you again.
Thank you very much.
There was more interesting segments on politics.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Viewers, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this interesting discussion. We shall bring more other segments next time, same station. Don't forget to subscribe, share, follow, and like on our social platform. Thank you. I remain your host, and goodbye for now.